اوكي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وأعز المرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين وعلى جميع أنبياء الله والمرسلين. We were talking about wahi. Check. You can write it this way, whatever you want to write it. In Arabic, we said wahi. What's wahi? Wahi is to acknowledge someone or tell someone about something in a hidden way. Okay? So when Jibreel alayhi salam was sending a message to the Prophet, the Sahaba did not know about it from Jibreel. They knew about it from whom? The Prophet. Okay? Not to mention that wahi is not always related to something sacred. It is more about something hidden way. Okay? And we gave example that wahi was used in when talking to the bees. If you want these ayat, I can send them to the group. Okay, for instance, we have وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَى. So you can see this. I don't know, I think 28, 27. 28, actually 7. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, hey, we revealed or inspired to the mother of Musa. Another ayah when we talk about the bees, you can check, for instance, 16:68, and it says, and thy Lord taught the bee to build its cell. Well, anyway, in Arabic, it is nahl. Nahl is not nahla, okay? It should be plural. So translation is messed up. But anyway, good? So those are examples of al-wahi. And we have the real, sacred way that we understand it. That wahi that is related to the message itself. You can see, for instance, the ayah 4:163. Allah is talking about how He revealed the message to His messengers, like Moses, Ibrahim, just name it. Good? Those are good examples. You can watch them, read them, discuss them, whatever you want. So this is done. Any question about this? Typically nowadays, when we say wahi, right away, what's going to trigger? Quran. Or something between the angels and the Prophet. Became more used in any other situation. Clear? Give you an example. What do I mean by this? Later on, we're going to need it. We say, for instance, tayammum. What's tayammum in Arabic? What's tayammum nowadays? Yeah, no, you do not make wudu with the dirt. It's going to be a problem. You'll be kicked out of the house. It is an alternative way of wudu. When you cannot make wudu, you make what? Tayammum. And it does not have to be with dirt. فَتَيَمَّمُوا صَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا. Could be a marble. Isn't it? So it does not have to be dirt. So tayammum nowadays, when I say tayammum, you say, yeah, not wudu, not ghusl, then tayammum. Tayammum in Arabic means to what? To reach out. فَتَيَمَّمُوا means اقصدوا. Okay? But Islam gave it its own meaning. What I'm trying to say, we have some words in Arabic. They had a meaning, and the Quran gave it a special, customized meaning. Okay? Or definitely there is a relation between the two. There is a relation between the two. Sometimes no, it is crafted this way. You call this way. Sometimes no, it has a meaning. Like salah. Salah could be salah ala nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi. شو يعني صلوا عليه؟ يعني we pray يعني هيك الله أكبر. No, it's dua. But when I say salah by itself, what do I recall right away? Mustahab salah, wajib salah, salat al-ayat, isn't it? So this is Islam engraved here, a special meaning for salah. And the salah from, yasla, okay, salah. So you get, those meaning later on, inshallah, we'll discuss them. Wahi is the same thing. Nowadays, when you say wahi, right away, what's going to click? The Quran or a message. Clear with that? Okay, yes.
Could you explain again what tayammum originally meant?
Tayammum means, tayammamu sa'idan means go and, search for, seek out, reach out, sa'idan tayyiba means dirt or, something related to the ground, earth. فَيَمِّمُوا, for instance, يَمِّمُوا وَجْهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. So even in the Quran, it's used in different, ways. Okay? But now if you say tayammum, khalas, it is this tayammum, And this will tell you that this Quran was not invented by a person. The Quran is not written by a human author. Imagine you are bringing a new aqidah, or new beliefs, or new fiqh, or new ahkam, or rulings. Till now, it's a big deal for us, isn't it? Rulings about fasting, or salah, wudu, or ghusl, don't do this, or do that. You will have a manual do not, and you have a manual do. Okay? And yet, on the top of it, you invent new terminologies, or you set ideas or definitions of new terminologies. That's not easy. And you are already busy. And on the top of it, he's fighting them, arguing with them, debating them. That's a huge thing. And the Quran did not take centuries. The Quran took 23 years to be delivered. So this is about al-wahi. Any question here? This will lead us for something very interesting after this introduction. Did the Prophet only use wahi when he is communicating to us? And if you ask the Prophet something, he always refer you to the Quran, or he has his own statement, personal statement as a prophet? We say the Prophet talked to people through several ways. One of them is wahi, which is from what? Allah. And the second one we have what? Hadith. There is a third one, we call it what? Hadith Qudsi. Okay, we'll come to this little by little. First of all, as far as wahi means, when we talk about wahi, as I said, it became very clear when you make it a statement by itself or a word by itself, means the words of God. So it is the words of what? Of Allah. So the question would be here, two questions based on these. Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak? Is it created? Well, two questions. The answer is no. Allah, what does He do? He creates what? Voices. So when I say Musa alayhi salam talked to God and God talked to Musa, how did Allah talk to him? Does he speak? Does he speak? No. Why? Is that something wrong? Yani Allah is not capable, wal-'iyadhu billah. Ma Allah, He can do everything, isn't it? So why we say God does not speak? Is that a good thing or bad thing? What do you think? Yani when I tell you God cannot walk or God, the question is wrong. But let's say, like Wahhabi people, okay? God did not speak. Is that good or bad? What do you think? If a person does not speak, is that good or bad? For a person, no good. Yeah. For Allah is good. Why? No, not because it's limitation. Not because it's attributing. Well, somehow it's limitation, but not because of this. Because God is not in need of words. He creates them. Why do you speak? Because you are in need to express yourself. Okay? Allah is not in need of them. He creates things. And His will tell you what to do. His will. He does not have to say things. So when we read in the Quran, kun fayakun, Allah will say something in the Quran. So what about the ayah? Can I write it here? Be and what? It is. Don't we have this in Quran? Does it mean Allah says be and it is? Or no, it's metaphoric. It's metaphoric. It's metaphoric. Why it's metaphoric? Because God does not speak. But the Quran said, وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. Allah talked to Musa. Yeah. Sometimes you can say, I talked to him, and you meant what? Chatting, isn't it? Till now we use it, which is wrong in English, but we use it. Or, sometimes if I tell you, if you see someone, specific person, say hi to him. You don't see him, you are over the phone. Oh, he says hi. No, you have to see him by eye. Do I mean this? No. So we say those are metaphoric. Why? Because God, if you say He speaks, then He is in need of what? Of organs. And God is absolute. God, nothing looks like Him. So why you want to compare God to your physiology? They say, if you ask the ant, how does Allah look like? It's going to draw it the same way she looks. Okay? So God is not like us. If I make this marker, does not mean that marker has to be in my image. It has to talk, has family. No. Even if I am the creator. Clear? So God creates the voice. And the voice talked to Musa. Same thing with the words. He put the words together. He is not an author like us. We have to think and imagine and delete and rewrite and over. No. He just ordered this stuff. Be and it is quickly here. This is very interesting topic. Off the topic a little bit, okay? Don't be confused. If God says be and it is, how come Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we created the skies and earth in how many days? 6 days. So why it is not be and it is? Because the Quran said that, isn't it? What do you think? What do you think? How many days it took to create earth and skies? 6 days means 6 faces, not 24 hours. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the universe, we had solar system? No, we did not have solar system. So day in Arabic does not mean 24 hours always. We say in Arabic, Yawm al-Qiyamah. Yawm al-Qiyamah, judgment day, could be thousands of years. Yawm al-Qiyamah. For some people, thousands and hundred thousands of years. To reach to Jannah, it might take you 100,000 years if you are not good to your parents, as I said previously. Just because you did not say good words to your parents. So be careful. Wallah, قالت لك, wallah, you know what, clean up your room. This, it has a bill. Don't translate this. I don't know how to translate it. Okay, good. So here, when the Quran said, in Arabic, الدهر يومان يوم لك ويوم عليك. The day could be your age you are living in. It could be one day you are the victim, and you come to a victory, and the second day you might be a loser. You lose. So when I say here be and it is, Allah is saying be and it is. Does it mean that the order of Allah always has to be this way? We say no, be and it is. That means it is on the track of certainty that is going to happen. You got that? I'm 100% sure it is. And in Arabic we have something similar to this, and I said that last meeting. You tell someone, hey, would you like this car? Yeah. بتقول له اشتريت. You did not even pay. But you are confident that you want it. In Arabic we say that. Clear? So why I'm saying this kind of the topic a little bit, because atheists, they will tell you, well, we have contradiction in the Quran. Ya Habibi, is not contradiction. You are messed up. Okay, go learn language. Be and it is. It's metaphoric anyway. God does not say it. And when I say be, that means, okay, I knew what I'm doing and I knew where it's gonna be. Not to mention, in your time, it is 50,000 years, 100,000 years. In God, time is zero. You have time. And that's why in physics it's a big deal. Is time constant or not, They always argue, especially in quantum physics. Is time constant? Is there something time is moving or no? And that's why, this is a different topic. To Allah is beyond time. So what you see, a baby is taken 9 months for you, to angels, this is nothing. Allah gave us some different dimensions in the Quran. Yawm al-Qiyamah, or for the angels, let's say in general, one day over there is like 50,000 years in your time in the Quran. Before relativity, okay? I don't know why a person would think about this kind of things now back then. It's amazing. Are we done here? We have a problem regarding wahi. And Muslim, they had big fight, especially Sunni people, Sunni among each others. And until you see Sunni, they are one group, they are not. They used to have problems. They used to call each other bad names. Some of them, they used to consider the sect Christians. Some of them, they used to say, hey, when you are going to close this church, and he means by it a mosque, because it is different Sunni sect, Sunni problems. Like nowadays, we have Wahhabi and Sunni. For Wahhabi, every Sunni and Shia is what? Has problems. But Shia, to them, it's the big problem. Especially they are proactive people, okay? It's more politics. But anyway, they had a big fight. So many people got killed. So many people got occupied. So much energy was wasted on a small topic. Small question. What was the question? Is the Quran created or not? Even Al-Bukhari himself was cursed and boycott, and he went back to his city because of this concept. Was the Quran created or not? Can we say the words of God created or no? Because it's related to God, it is what? It is like the creator. A huge problem happened in Islam. Like nowadays, you want to visit the grave of the Prophet. Oh, shirk, bid'ah, Ya habibi, ruhi shwaya. These people, or if you have dash a little bit long, oh my God, you go to Jahannam. Okay, to them. So they kept them busy. Okay, they were smart. Or because they were naive, they had nothing to do. In our philosophy, Allah created the words. Otherwise, then speaking is portion of God, which is impossible. The words will be portion of God. No, Allah, laysa kamithlihi shay. Nowadays, we look at it, simple, move on. Okay, move on. You say, well, what's the problem with this? It's a big deal. I don't want to enter into that, but you can always ask me later on about it. So this is the first stuff that the Prophet, here we say, deliverables of whom? Of the Prophet. So the first one was what? Wahi. This is done. Those are deliverables, okay? Deliverables. And I'm not saying the Prophet said the Wahi, but he delivered the Wahi for us. Another one is hadith. What's hadith? Yeah, هلا بنقول narration, but technically what's hadith? Hadith of the Prophet. The words of the Prophet. The Prophet, when the Prophet talked to us, do this, do not do that. Sallu the way I am praying. Pray the way I'm praying. Fast the way I'm fasting, let's say. Make wudu the way... Those are orders. إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثَّقَلَيْنِ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَعِتْ. This is what? The words of the Prophet. Is it related? Is it wahi? As words-wise, it is not. But who ordered the Prophet to say these words? Is it from his personality, understanding equations? Not equations, okay, education, or no? The meaning is from Allah, and He phrased the words here in this level. In this level, who phrases everything? Allah. The meaning, the words, the letters. Okay? What about hadith? When the Prophet says, don't do this, does he say it based on his statement, his idea, or the meaning was delivered to him? Definitely, this is a big subject. I don't know, and you use it a lot in usul al-fiqh later on. But no matter what the Prophet delivered, we go back to the ayah in Surah An-Najm and other surah like وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the Prophet give you, take. Some people, they say charity. Could be more than charity. in Surah An-Najm, وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Can you see this ayah, which I can search it for you. You might need this. I mean, I'm trying to get the ayat sometimes.
Verse 3.
I'm sorry?
Verses 3 and 4.
Verses 3 and 4?
It's verses 3 and 4.
What's the chapter number? 53. So this is, check what? 53. And this is verses what? 3 to 4? Yeah. Okay. This here to tell us what? The Prophet, everything he says is what? Is something we have to obey and consider. Okay? وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. And that's why we have a question for Sunni people, Sunni brothers. They say by the time the Prophet was dying, Umar, he told his Sahaba, companions, and one of them was Al-Khalifa Umar. And he told them, he ordered them, hand me a letter and a pen, a paper and a pen. Or we say katif wadiwat, okay? So I can write for you what's good for you, so you don't get misguided. They say Umar al-Khattab said what? Khalifa Umar al-Khattab said, no, we have the book of Allah, good enough. Some other Sahih, غير Sahih al-Bukhari, some other Sahih, he said, hey, he's hallucinating because of the sickness, maybe high temperature. We tell him, Ya Habibi, don't you read this? وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. So the hadith, it is phrased by whom? The Prophet. Was the Prophet eloquent in Arabic? Yes, he was very eloquent in Arabic. Very eloquent. His Arabic was perfect, one of the best, if not the best. Yet, we see the style here Now let's talk about style-wise. Is the style of the Quran different than the style of Hadith? Yeah, 100%. Ooh, amazing. Why? How could a person have two different styles? How? Usually when I read a sonnet for Shakespeare, like, shall I compare thee to summer days, thou art more lovely, more yeah, we used to memorize and stuff. I can say, oh, this is for Shakespeare. I get used to the style. So how come the Prophet kept it consistent? Quran is different than Hadith. More than that, if you go in history now, do you question whether the Quran is authentic or no? Definitely it's authentic. But when I say Hadith, the first thing what you're going to say, is the Hadith authentic or not authentic? Uh-oh. Who narrated the Hadith? Could be a good guy in Arabic, could be not a good guy in Arabic. Some Sahaba maybe, new to Islam, to Arab, to Arabic culture. Clear? So this is the Hadith. Some the Hadith is not a statement by the Prophet. It's talking about what the Prophet used to say, used to do. Allah, in our subject, it's a different subject. But here I meant the Hadith that is related to his words. Are we good here? The last one, we have Hadith Qudsi. What's Hadith Qudsi? Last one. What's Hadith Qudsi? You? Huh? I mean, you can say, I do not know. Huh? Very good. Hadith Qudsi is Hadith has direct meaning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And who phrases that? The Prophet. So that's why we have three styles here. Okay? We have what? Three styles. And usually the Hadith al-Qudsi, you see it most of the time about old, previous religion. We don't have religions, it's one religion. But the previous, prophets, messages. Clear here?
Directions on how we pray and how we fast, those are going to
Hadith.
Qudsi?
No, Hadith. Usually this is more into moral things. Okay. Yes.
Does he make it wahi based off the fact that it's perfect, or based off the fact that it's from God, or both?
Wahi, if you mean by that Quran, it is something perfect and it has to go with a special channel, which is Jibreel alayhi salam.
So Quran's the only thing that's wahi then?
100% Wahi. Wahi, yeah, the way we are discussing it. The rest could be inspirations. It's not, but it's not real Wahi like others. Because we said Wahi has different meanings. Yes. The meaning of it from Allah, because Allah, the Prophet, how is going to know what happened to, let's say, previous nations? How is going to know that Isa said this? How is going to know that Allah talked to Musa and he said, Ya Musa, كذب من زعم أنه يحبني فإذا جن عليه الليل نام ولم يذكرني. يعني, how do you claim that you love Allah, but when it is night, you go to sleep and you don't even remember, making wudu and praying to rak'ah or talking to God. I'm adding some spices, okay? How? But you fall asleep holding the phone while talking to your beloved one. It happens to us a lot, isn't it? Especially if you are young and in your relationship. Okay? So Allah will say, where is my existence in your heart? How come you sleep without talking to me, without whispering? Don't you, as a lover, don't you feel like talking to me? So now, let's say you are in a love relation, and a message from your beloved one. Right away, you want to check it. What about Allah? Allah is nice, later on. Salat al-Subh later on. Salat al-Subh becomes qada, qurbatan ila Allah ta'ala. So this is a good example. So are we good here? Questions? After talking about wahi, about hadith, okay, quickly about hadith, since we enter into this subject. Can I erase this? Because I always have this eraser need an eraser. Okay. We have hadith. We always say hadith. We have hadith. Hadith, it could be strong hadith. You want me to talk about it quickly? Just quickly. Okay? Strong narration. That means what we call it in Arabic? Sahih. We have weak hadith. Okay? I'm going to only stick to those. Definitely we have more, okay? But those are two major ones. To be more accurate, we have hadith more general than this. We call it what? Mu'tabar. What do I mean by that? To our school of thought, if the chain of narrations, all of them authentic, trustworthy people, I call the hadith what? Sahih. All of them Shia and all of them trustworthy. Thiqa, 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 thiqa. Good? What do I call this hadith? Sahih. If one in the chain of narrators, one of them is thiqa but not Shi'i, do I take that hadith? For instance, give you an example. Al-Kafi, Muhammad al-Kulayni, Muhammad bin Yaqub al-Kulayni, in his book Al-Kafi, he said, Ali ibn Ibrahim said, Ibrahim bin Hashim said, Al-Nawfali said, Al-Sakuni said, Al-Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam said. This is a complete narration. Do I consider this hadith sahih or I consider it mu'tabar, more generic? Mu'tabar, what does it mean? We have one of the guys is thiqa, trustworthy, but not Shi'i. Ahl al-Bayt used to tell us, take what they narrate and forget about what they believe if it is wrong. They believe in something good, in Allah, in Quran, that's good. Talking about as fuqah wise. So, sahih, that means everything is what? Trustworthy and narrators are Shia. If it is not, then what do I have? We have something we call hadith mawthuq. So to make it easy on us, we gathered these two and we call them what? Mu'tabar. Mu'tabar could be sahih, could be mawthuq. Why I call it mawthuq? I accept the hadith, though there is one Sunni narrator is in it, but I trust that person. Is that clear? And we have, in addition to that, if a person is not trustworthy, but no one said anything bad about him, and they praised him. According to Sayyid al-Khu'i, this is hadith, we call it Hasan. Anyway, weak hadith, what does it mean? One of the narrators is Fox News. Oh, I'm sorry. Not trustworthy. Fake news. Okay? Weak hadith would be, okay, An Ali bin Ibrahim, all the way Imam Sadiq. In between, I'm missing one. There is a missing link. So this is what we call it weak. Weak could be hadith mursal, munqati', just name it. This is in general. Any question about this? While in Quran, right away, everything in Quran is what? Sahih, 100%. In Quran, we have something we call tawatur. Tawatur means way more than sahih. So here I have to have something we call it what? Tawatur. I know these terminologies. What's tawatur? Tawatur he tells me a story and he has his own chain of narrators. He tells me a story and he has different chain of narrators. He tells me a story and he has totally different chain of narrators. Everyone here is telling me the same story but different chain of narrators. What's the probability that this hadith will be wrong? He is from different background, he speaks different language, he is Sunni, he is Shi'i, he is whatever, and yet all of them and everyone with different chain of narrator is saying the same hadith. What's the probability that hadith will be wrong? Like 0.1%, isn't it? And more narrators will make it less, especially if they are from different background. And a good example of that, the narrations about Al-Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam. All the Muslims, Sunnah and Shia, they have hadith about Al-Imam Al-Mahdi and he is going to be before the judgment day. This is, we say, mutawatir. It's beyond sahih. Sahih is maybe one hadith sahih. Here is sahih and mutawatir. Another mutawatir hadith, إني تارك فيكم الثقلين كتاب الله وعترة أهل البيت. Narrated by Sunni and narrated by Shia. This will make the hadith more authentic. But when it comes to Quran, do I need all this? In Quran, right away I go to where? Tawatur, and we have something we call موضع تسالم, يعني more than tawatur, يعني it's common sense. This is Quran among all Muslims, all ages, all centuries, and this is stronger than tasalum. Yes. Yeah, they have their books like Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. I promise.